Let me just begin the lesson for this Primary 4 worksheet 42. So I see from the record that you didn't participate in the worksheet, but it's okay. I mean, it's like the school holiday. I mean, it's like the exam over already, right? Yeah, so relax a bit, no worries. Can? Okay, so let's just look at the worksheet. Hi, yeah, okay. So let's take a look at this worksheet. Okay, I heard from Miss Susan that you're quite pro. So you are quite a very strong math person, I think. All right, so all these questions might be easy for you. All right, so let me just go through them, huh? Okay, so down here you're talking about 1 whole minus half minus 1/6. Okay, so we can actually do from left to right. 1 minus half first. So in my mind, right, 1 whole is just like this, 1 whole. All right, and if you like minus half away, gone. Bye-bye. So you're left with what? You're left with another half. And you're supposed to take this half to minus a 1/6. So this is my thinking in my mind. So I skip the step of the first part actually. So down here, as you know, in order to subtract, right, your denominator has to be of the same number. All right, so you'll be thinking of the LCM, the lowest common multiple of 2 and 6. All right, so for 2 and 6, right, the lowest common multiple is actually a 6. How come? 2 times table is 2, 4, 6, 8. 6 times table is 6, 12, 18. Therefore, your 6 is actually the same number. All right, so down here, you use your equivalent fraction, multiply by 3 to give you the 6. The numerator also must multiply by 3 to give you a 3. And therefore, once your denominator is the same, you take the numerator and you less it out. 3 minus 1 will give you a 2/6. Is this the answer? No. Right, this is not the answer yet. All right, be careful. Right, because you are supposed to automatically reduce to the lowest term. All right, must automatically reduce to the lowest term. All right, and that will give you a 1/3. This is the best answer and the only answer in Singapore context. All right, to the simplest form. But the teacher never say must give to the simplest form. No argument. All right, whether it is asked to do so or not to do so, you are supposed to give it. Okay, so this is important. Always reduce to the simplest form. Okay, so this is my way of doing. Right, not too difficult. I think you did okay. Can I just check how much do you score for your recent exam? The end of year exam?
Uh, I got 86.5 upon 100.
Wow, that's very high, man. Yeah, that's very good. Good job, how Xuan? Good job. Wow, 86.5. Very good for a P4. All right, but usually, right, I will advise my P3 and P4 to score at least 100%. What? At least 100? Yes. All right, that's possible. All right, because for P5, right, you need to be having a strong foundation in your P3 and P4 in order to do well. All right, so your P5 will be difficult, but in the meantime, 加油, okay? Don't give up. You can do it one. Okay. Okay, not bad. 86.5 is very good already. But of course, it can be better. Lah. Any of your classmates score full marks? Yeah, you see, I told you, right? It's possible. It's possible. Right. So why isn't it you? That's the question. Right. So you can do it one next time. All right, try for the P5. Okay, come question 2. So question 2 is a little bit about this rectangle. All right, and you know that rectangle, right, is made up of two lengths, which is the same. All right, so we show it like that to show that it's of the same length, and two breadth, which is the same in dimension. Okay, and not only that, the property of a rectangle, the corner down here is 90 degrees. The corner here is 90 degrees. The corner here is 90 degrees. And the corner here is 90 degrees. All right, so down here is a 90 degrees. So it simply means, right, it simply means that QR is actually perpendicular to PQ. All right, perpendicular. That forms the 90. So here comes the question. They're looking for angle TQU. Follow TQU. All right, if you follow the movement, all right, you're looking for this angle here. OMG, so easy. All right, so if the whole thing is 90 and I have 25 and 18 over here, 25 plus 18 will give you a 13 here, 2, 3, 4, 43. All right, so 43 is made up of the two remaining angle. So what is TQU? Simply just take your 90 degrees minus your 43. Very straightforward. Okay, very straightforward. All right, do your working just to be safe. All right, I know that maybe your mental sum is super powerful, but it's always good to double check with your working. Right, so very simple, not too difficult. All right, so understand the properties of a rectangle, very importantly. And one thing I just want to highlight to you, for example, if it's a square, right? Many of my students always forget about this. Right, if it's a square, all right, we know that what? We know that four sides are all of equal length. This is like a square. And the corners, yes, they are also 90, 90, 90, 90. But if you cut it like that halfway right? Do you know what happened? Right? Do you know that this portion here eventually becomes a what? This portion here eventually becomes a isosceles triangle. Right? I don't know. Have you heard of this word called isosceles triangle or not? Right? Isosceles triangle simply means that the length here and the length here, they are equal. Right? Down here is like a 90 degrees. Right? This is called isosceles triangle. And the corner here is equal to the corner here. Right? That's a special part of the isosceles triangle. Okay? Yeah. So for a square, right, just to let you know, if you cut it into half, right, this portion here is actually 90 divided by 2 to give you a 45 degrees. All right, this portion here also similarly. All right, you cut into 2. 90 divided by 2 is 45 degrees. That is for a square, only for a square, you can do that. All right, but for a rectangle, cannot. Right, imagine you cut the rectangle. Imagine you cut the rectangle like that. Like that. All right. Do you know that this portion, right, this portion and this portion, all right, they are not equal? All right, they are not the same. Not the same. All right, be careful. Be careful. All right. So your this one, right, it only works for a square. If you cut right in the center, the diagonal. So the dark green line down here is called the diagonal. All right. So if you cut from one end to the other end, okay, then you can say it's divided by 2, divided by 2. Okay, but for a rectangle, cannot. Cannot. All right, so be careful. It only works for a square. This is one of the properties that you have to be able to see in future. All right, just to let you know, just to give you an advance lah, huh? Okay, next question number 3. Right, question 3 is actually quite simple. All right, it's about graph reading. So every time I look for graph reading, right, I will first put in the numbers lah. So day 1, right, is pointing towards down here. So this is like your 2000. Day 2 is between 1000 and 2000. So what is in between? It must be 1500. Day 3 is pointing to number 5000. So this will be your 5000. And day 4 is pointing to your 4000. So down here must be 4000. So let's take a look. The graph shows the number of steps Alice walked from day 1 to day 4. Oh, All right, so some of you, right, actually have all these watches, and these watches actually count the number of steps that you walk. All right, that is that's very healthy in a way. All right, but yeah, for me, I don't have such things. So from day 1 to day 4, how many steps did Alice walk all together in the 4 days? Right, so the keyword here is all together. Oh, very simple. Right, so on day 1, she walked 2,000 steps. On day 2, she walked 1,500 steps. Day 3, she walked 5,000 steps. And day 4, she walked 4,000 steps. So if you add them all up together, you should get this number. 12500. All right, so what is 12500? Simply 12,500 steps. All right, so I'm actually going through this worksheet first, all right, because this worksheet is supposed to be in your system and you are supposed to actually do it already lah. All right, but don't worry about this. As I say, it's like the after exam. Nobody want to do the worksheet one. All right, so I'll just be going through all these few questions first. Later there'll be a set of additional questions. That one might need your participation. All right, so this one, let me just go through them first. Oh, and actually I got I also got some questions related to Kahoot. All right, I thought that the class would be bigger lah. Yeah, but it seems like only you, so I believe that you are the winner lah. No matter what. All right, so we'll go through some of those questions also. Yeah, without going through the game Kahoot. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So moving on, number 4. So Candy was walking out of a maze at a fun fair. Right, so a maze is a what? A maze is like a place that is designed to make you get lost. You're supposed to turn left, turn right, and eventually, sometimes the more you walk, the more lost you get. All right, but sometimes when you turn the correct direction, it enables you to get out of the game or the maze. So she started from point A. So Candy is down here. All right. She walked 3 steps to the north. All right, so down here, right, I will always have these north, south, east, west things. North, south, east, west. All right, and down here, if I cut it into half like that, right, and like that, this will be called your southeast. This will be called your northeast. This will be called your northwest, and this will be called your southwest. Okay. So once again, right, Hao Xuan, just want you to know this very importantly. Let me draw a bit bigger. This north, south, east, west things, right? Down here is 90 degrees. 90 degrees. Which means that your north and your east, right, they are 90 degrees away. And when we talk about the southwest and the northeast, the northwest and the northwest, the southeast, right, all this, right, it's always at a what angle is that? Right, it's very standard. You're supposed to cut the 90 degrees into half. Right, so down here will be a 45 degrees, just to let you know. This will be a 45 degree. It has to be a 45 degrees. 45 degrees. And 45 degrees. And that is the only way then you can call this the southeast here. And the northwest on top. Must be 45 degrees. Right, so these are the very standard rule that you have to abide to. All right, so coming back to Candy, she's down here. So she take 3 steps to the north, 1 step, 2 step, and 3 steps to the north. Then 2 steps to the east. East is where? East is towards your right. This is your east. East is towards your right. So take 2 steps towards the east. 1 step, 2 step. She continued 5 steps to the south. South means downwards. 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, 4 step, 5 step. Then she take 1 step to the east. 1 step. Woo! All right. So eventually she managed to get out of the maze. Right? And therefore the answer is a E. All right. So that would be your exit. See? They give you a clue. Exit stands for E, right? E obviously is E lah. No, I'm just kidding. It's just pure coincidence. Right? It's just pure coincidence. Yeah, but some of my students last time they say, right, can I say that, right? Can I say that